Good afternoon and welcome back to another one of my videos. As you can see in the background, we've got the FIAT Doblo back. It was towed in last night for a starter motor because the starter motor packed up, so we've done that. And while it's here, we're going to do the glow plugs, but it's raining at the moment, so there's not a lot we can do at the moment till it stops. But I have got the new glow plugs, and I thought before we put them in, I thought we'd give them a test and make sure they're all okay. Right, so I've lined them all up here. I thought I'd better test them because all the boxes look like they've been on the shelf for donkey's years. So let's put the meter onto ohms. We'll clip the first one in. And we'll clip it on the second. So that one's 0.9 ohms. That 1 ohm. 1.1 ohms. Looks good to me. Depending on the contact. The second one, 1.1 ohm again. 1.2 ohms. That looks good. The third one, again 1 ohm. Happy with that. And the fourth one, 0.8 ohms, depending on contact, 0.9. Because before now I've had new glow plugs out of the box that don't work, that are open circuit. So now we've got these. When the rain stops, some people say to change these when the engine's cold. Some say to change them when they're hot. So what I'm going to do first is to see if I can loosen them while it's cold, and if it's not cold, if I can't undo them when it's cold, I'll warm it up and then we'll try again when it's a bit warmer. Right, let's go outside. Right, this might be a bit hard to film because there ain't a lot of space down there, but I've taken the oil filler cap off and I've taken this rubber ring off that goes around there to give us a little bit more space. See, the glow plug cap is that down there where there. I'll get my hand on it. I can't get my hand on it. It's down there, you can see it wobbling. Let's see if we can pull that off. I think we need a pair of long nose pliers. Right, I've got a pair of long nose pliers. Now I have been told by somebody that you can do these while they're in the car. Just bear with me a second. Now it seems that a bit of jiggery pokery. Where's the cap? That cap's just got a spring clip on it, and it does pull straight off, and then you can see the glow plug is down there, if it'll focus, sitting right inside the head. So I think we can probably get to it from under the turbo. So let's see if I can so you can see it down there. But I think what we'll do is we'll try and get an extension to go under the turbo and see if we can reach it that way. Right, I've got the first one moving. What I've got is I like to use a bigger socket. I like to use a 3/8 socket on a extension, and if you can see the glow plug through there, I slip this underneath somewhere. And as you can see, I don't know whether you can see, where are we? down there, just down there. It is turning. It wasn't very tight actually, so let me unwind this one and we'll see if it comes out. Right, so here's the first one. The first one came out quite easily, and once the threaded part came out, there's enough wiggle room to get it out underneath the turbo, which is good. So if we compare it to the ones we got, they look the same. Alright, so we'll put that one there to number one. That's a good one, by the way. That's number one is a good one. It's 2 and 3 that are bad. So let's go and put this back in number one. Right, now to slot this in, I've got it in the end of my long nose pliers. I'm going to slot it down there. I don't know whether you can see any of this. Oh no, I've dropped it on the floor. Oh. Let's see if we can go from underneath. Oh, we might be able to get it in there. Look, you can see it's going in down there. In there. Push it down the hole. Use my long nose pliers just to help it down there. Right, let's see if we can get a socket on that now. Right, so I went to install these, or this one, and it wouldn't go in because I think the tip was too thick. It wouldn't go in the bottom of the hole. And when I compared it to the one I've taken out, you can see, I don't know if you can see on camera, I might have to measure it, but the tip on the one I've taken out is thinner than the new one. And when I check the numbers, the ones they've sent me are Y8003Js, which are 11 volt glow plugs. But the one I've taken out is a 4.3 volt. I don't know whether you can see that. Hang on, let's find the. Will it focus on that? There we go, 4.3 volt Y9001AS. Right, I'm back from the shop, back from the parts place, and now we've got the right ones. The 93707s or the Y9001ASs, 4.3 volts. They look all identical, apart from they've got a thinner tip. So let's give these a resistance check to make sure these are all okay. So the first one, we've got 0.5 ohm. The second one, we've got 0.4 ohm. The third one, 0.4, 0.5. And the fourth one, 0.5, 0.5 ohm. Right, so they're all good. Okay, we're back. It's day 2. I'm just establishing what size sockets these are now, because the original glow plugs that I got that were wrong were different sizes to the ones on the car, obviously. So the one I took out of the car was this one, number 1 glow plug, and this is a 9mm, and that fits lovely over the top. 9mm. And now the new ones are also the same, 9mm. So we're going to use that in conjunction with our ratchet and our extension, and we're going to slot this back in. Right, that glow plug's wound in. Now these are tightened down to 12 Newton meters, so I'm using my little 1/4 inch torque winch. Right. First one complete. Let's pop the wire back on. Just like that. Right, on to number 2. So we'll see if we can get the cap off. Right, came off all right this time. Let's get the cap out of the way. That's a job in itself. It looks like the heat shield is right by the terminal. Let's see if we can push that down a bit. Right, see if we can get a socket on there. Let's get it right. We need to get that heat shield out of the way. Push it down a bit. Just stopping the socket going onto the glow plug. Let's try that. Right, we've got the socket on. It's a bit of a tight fit. Right, so for number 2, which is right down behind the turbo down there, I don't know whether you can just see my socket. I've had to go from under the turbo down there. So my socket goes in under the turbo down there, comes out between the two parts of the turbo, between the two turbines, and then pressing the heat shield down, because the heat shield gets in the way, not that you can see. There you go, you can just see my socket down there under the oil pipe, and it's now on the glow plug. So let's see if we can get that one out. Alright, here we go. Alright, it's turning. Back it off. Now it's all jammed in the hole. Not enough space to get my socket and the glow plug out all in one unit. Right, so what I need to do, I need to get the socket off the glow plug. now I've lost my swivel down inside the heat shield somewhere, I think. Right, that's my socket out. Let's get a magnet. Let's take this heat shield cover off. That might give us a bit more room. One heat shield off. Give me a bit more space. Haha! Number 2 glow plug. Right, we'll have to give that swivel to the car because I can't find it now. I've looked with the endoscope and it's dropped down by the heat shield somewhere. So I've had to bob another one, a slightly bigger 1/4 inch swivel out of another set. So let's see if we can get number 2 back in. No, not yet, mate. Yeah. Right, it's back in the hole. Now all we've got to do is get a socket on it again. Right. Let's see if we can get it on from the top, going down over the top of the turbo, so we don't lose me. Now I've got some extension, there's an extension. Is that the right socket? Yes, it is the right socket. Just got to get the right angle to get it on there. It's going to be a bit of a tight angle. Let's go back up underneath. Right, we're on. That was a bit fiddly. Spin it on when we ratchet. The swivels come off. This swivel is a bit longer than the other one. Where's the camera? There's the camera. It's got a bit of a longer body on it there. It's nearly in. Right, let's get my torque wrench on there. Right, 12 Newton meters. Let me swivel to stay on there. There we go. One more for luck. Right. Let's see if I can get it off without getting my socket stuck now. Well, that's my universal joint out. Right, where's my magnet? Because the socket gets jammed up against the heat shield. Pliers. Here we go. Give me a magnet. Socket. Right, let's put the cap back on. Right, so number one's done, which is that one down there. Number two's done, which is that one down there, which is right behind, between the two turbines of the turbo. The third one is on the exhaust side of the turbo. Right, so that's the one we'll tackle next, get them all done in order. And this one, I think, where are we going to get that one from? Right, so getting on to number three, there's no room below the turbo to do it, so I had to go from above, and it makes with the extension a bit of an acute angle. So when I was trying to undo it, here we go. Trying to turn this way, it was trying to bend the glow plug. So what I had to use was, I had to take my extension off, and I used my long 1/4 inch gear wrench with a lockable flexible head, and that went down onto the glow plug, onto the socket, and there was enough leverage straight on to crack it loose, and now I can undo it with the extension at this angle. So when I come to put it back, I'm not sure if I'll be able to torque it properly, but we'll give it a go in a minute. Right, so number three went back in okay. I managed to torque it with that acute angle on the extension very carefully, so that one's done. Now we've got number four to do, which is down here. And you see I've taken the air pipe off to give me a little bit more access. We'll take that off of there, take the cap off, and put that out of the way. Now this one's not too bad because you can see this one. And that one's got a nice straight angle on it. So we'll crack that off and we'll get that changed, and then I'll bring you back. Right, all four are done now. That number four is quite straightforward, quite easy to get to, probably the easiest one out of the lot. I've pulled the plug back off the glow plug controller, and I've got my test light to check, which is on battery positive, so when it finds the ground it lights up. So if we check all these four again, check the first one, we've got a light, the second one, we've got a light, the third one, we've got a light, and the fourth one, if I get good contact on that pin, there we are, a light. So now we know we've got continuity from the plug all the way through the glow plugs to the block. So the next thing will be to put all this bits and pieces back, and then we'll go inside, we'll do a code scan, code clear, and a test. Right, so we're back in the car, everything's put back together under the bonnet. We'll put the ignition on. So you've got 139,497 miles. We go over to the top don. We'll give it an auto scan. chassis number's correct. Scan. Yes. We'll give it a smart scan. Not many ECUs on this one. There we go. We're just going to the ECM. There's all your glow plugs codes that we had before. Clear DTCs. No fault codes. ECM, no DTCs. Right, so before, let's just go out of that. Oh no, we'll leave that there for a second. So before, when we used to start it, occasionally you get the engine management light come back on, and the emission lights would flash over this side. Just turn the ignition off. Wait a few seconds. Turn back on. Starts lovely. Oh, the emission light is still on. That might clear in a minute. We'll let it run for a bit and we'll give it another code scan and another clear, see what's going on here. Right, I'm back. I couldn't get the light to clear initially, so I'm doing a forced regeneration for the DPF, and at the moment it's holding the RPM up at 3,500 RPM. I don't know whether you can see out the back, but it's chucking a bit of smoke out the back. And it's saying that we're 15% through the test after an initial warm-up period. So hopefully when the DPF is cleared, the light should stay out. I'll bring you back in a moment. Right, it's a few minutes later. We're still at 3,500 RPM and we're up at 95%. So we've nearly completed the DPF regeneration process. Then I expect we need to go for a cool down period. So it should drop the RPM in a minute. You heard the no change. The RPMs are coming down. See, the light is off. We're back to idle, and it says procedure completed successfully. Alright. Intent, turn the key to stop and wait. Turn the ignition key off. Right, it told us to turn the ignition key off, and then it told us to wait for a little while. Please wait. I've just been out to collect the parcel, and it really stinks out there. You can smell it's really hot. I would imagine that exhaust was, you know, getting up cherry red. Come on, focus. There you go. 100%. Turn the ignition key on. Keys on. Continue. Procedure end. Press return to exit. Go back to that. Lovely. So we'll let that cool down for a couple of minutes and then we'll restart it, and hopefully that light will stay off. Right, so all in all, that DPF regeneration test procedure took about 15 minutes. It's been a couple of minutes since I turned it off. Let's start it again. Ignition key. Perfect. Well, let's just go back to the live data, because when I measured the DPF pressure before, it was on 14 millibar at idle. So let's see if it's come down now. Data stream. Differential pressure sensor. See, it's now down to 6, whereas on 14 before. So good. Right. So I reckon that's all we need to do now is give it a road test, and I think we'll be done. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody. Oh, hang on, before we go, let's just give it one more read full codes. We'll just give it one more code scan just to make sure, but there are no lights on. No full codes. Good. Right, so as I was saying, thank you for watching. I hope that's helped somebody, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.